room in Kingsmead. Both teams have spoken about playing this in the right spirit. Both teams have got their eyes on the World Cup later on in October, and the preparations for that begin in earnest. We've already seen how South Africa have raised their game in the recent England. That was only just 5 days ago. There's never any love lost between them, and the boring as will be absolutely bouncy. Whether Warner take first. Dale Steyn will have the ball in his hand from the golf course end. Let's hand over to our commentators for the first ball.
No, they haven't won. And what am I talking about? I mean, Australia haven't won a game when they batted first here at the Wanderers. Apologies, my fault. They haven't won a game batting first here at the Wanderers. As I started to say that, I was reminded of 4-3-8, of course. We're ready to go. Dale Steyn to pound in. And Warner immediately off the back foot. Too short from Steyn, too strong from Warner.
Yeah, beautifully played. Great start for Australia. A little bit of width going across the left-hander. No shape back in towards David Warner. It's all about the placement. The timing's superb, but the placement's so good.
End of no, it's not. The South Africans think it is. They're all being sent back. Miscounting. 4 wicket, 4-1 dot. Steve Smith, player with wide range of stroke, brilliant temperament, loves the big match occasion. Change to the field here. Long leg coming up, square leg back.
Yeah, interesting that the last ball of Dale Steyn was actually cross seam. I think he'd be getting up there trying to swing the ball.
Slight concern from the players that the pitch is a bit dry and the ball might hold in it. So what a start. One gone, 9 for 1. Warner's little jump and the throwing back of the head is what makes me think he was surprised by that pace as well as bounce. It's onto him very quickly. Pulling out that cork. Ngidi bowled very well in the games against England to bowl now to Aaron Finch. Same sort of field, a slip, 4 in the cover ring. Well, you cannot bowl short and wide here. It sits up to be smashed.
Yeah, also not the greatest start from Ngidi. Steyn started in similar fashion, short, wide. Aaron Finch loves that area. Just stands up and stands strong. Very strong square on the offside.
Very well played, actually, keeping the blade open. Better line, for sure. A lot of good pace bowling in this match. Australia with Stark and Cummins for starters. South Africa, Rabada back along with Steyn and Ngidi. Some of the best going around. Very difficult to get into the Wanderers. Problems with traffic outside, so still a lot of spectators. Desperate to see the early stages of the game held back outside. It's a sellout. Quite how they're going to deal with the loss of that stand, I don't know. Now the gap is found at cover, and see how quick that outfield is. Faf du Plessis, who's another one who's back. Chasing. Very strong looking South African side.
It's a nice pace surface ball coming on to the bat with a cross seam delivery early for the South Africans, turning to that option. See how to get the wheels on there. The ball definitely running smoothly and quickly across this outfield. South Africa do have options also up front now, and Ngidi, Steyn, Kagiso Rabada they can turn to sooner rather than later.
Oh, Steve Smith.
Yeah, when you play against Ngidi, he's almost one of those bowlers who you can premeditate a little bit. He likes to hit that back of a length. It's almost his stock delivery. You've got the feeling Steve Smith was banking on it being back of a length rather than fuller.
One of the things that was so good about his bowling at the death in the England games, he showed he was by no means a one-trick pony. He really bowled well under pressure, varying his length and pace. Suggestion with those strokes from Smith that the ball's not coming on consistently. Might be a two-paced pitch. Oh, he's through the stroke very early. Face shut. And a man is back and might catch it. Oh, he hasn't seen it. Dale Steyn hasn't seen the ball. Whoa.
My attention went straight down to Dale Steyn on the boundary, and he seems to have lined it himself up brilliantly. With that for one at the end of the second. He looked like he positioned himself perfectly And at that last minute, it must have just gone into the floodlights. Absolutely saw nothing. At this stage, he's in a good place, and he loses it. And almost lands very close to him. If there's no floodlights, he definitely gets his hands to it and will judge it perfectly. Here they're pointing, saying, oh, those floodlights, look what they've done to Dale.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up not being very near it, actually, didn't he? He was sort of a yard from it. Very rare you see that. Probably because the ball came a bit flatter. He needed to travel higher, didn't it? Reach an apex and then drop. It came flat. Smith gets lucky. Steyn.
There's that slower ball of Steyn. I think what's done him is he actually come in 3 or 4 yards. So it means that when he's going to take the catch, it's above head height. If he had been on the rope and had been going to catch it like waist height, he probably wouldn't have had to worry about the lights. But by charging in the eye line, then has the ball that stage there. And the floodlights are going to interfere with his eyesight.
Ball pings off the bat here. Noticeable, fielders aren't very tight on the single. That's what it got lost in. Unusual field now. Third man's come up on the edge of the circle, and there's a cover just behind square on the fence. Steyn with another slower ball. Real mixture so far of slower balls, cutters, cross seamers, and seam uppers. An avid gum chewer is Aaron Finch. There isn't any stopping that. It's the width. You can throw everything at it, can't you?
And to be honest, there hasn't been a great start by the South Africans. There have been far too many deliveries that have been wide and just allowed the batsman to free the arms, whether it's been off the front foot or the back foot. And at the Wanderers, you have to be really tight on those stumps. The ball at this altitude flies away no matter what contact is made. So they've had to tighten things up.
Oh, hello. Well, Smith's going to get booed for that. I think the umpire has signalled dead ball rather than 4. Steyn released it unwittingly.
These are his different variations that he tries to employ, Dale Steyn.
Stop. So have a look 2 balls ago at this. Dale Steyn, yeah, never releases the ball, and the umpire's dead right to call dead ball. Sort of hits the size of his head, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, his ear. You always get told as fast bowlers, get as close to the ear as possible. I think that's taken to the next extreme from Dale Steyn. But Steve Smith moving down the wicket. He thought, well, okay, it's popped out his hand. Maybe I've got the opportunity. Didn't want to miss out, but wasn't appreciated by the crowd.
What a stroke that is. That is the stroke of the game so far. A fiery start from the Australians. 3 gone, 30 for 1.
Round 3 of England Women's Six Nations campaign sees them host Ireland. Live on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
One last mission. So don't go blowing anything up. When do we ever blow anything up?
No doubt, Sean's comment, South Africa haven't started well, right. Width at the Wanderers, you travel. Kagiso Rabada, after a break from the game since the Test series. That is plenty. 6 flying off the top edge.
Yeah, that's probably the best example of altitude. It's not a small boundary, sometimes played at Eden Park or maybe even at the Wacker. The boundaries behind the wicketkeeper can be quite short, but those ones are not, and that's comfortably got over the boundary. Pace back of a length, 135 kilometers per hour, extra bounce. This top edge has worked to gem.
From what we've seen, it looks too, never mind the width, it looks as if South Africa have a tactic to bowl short the Australian top order. We've hardly seen a ball pitched up.
I think if we had to look at a beehive, we'd see a lot of deliveries short and wide of the stumps, and nowhere near the stumps. Can't go away from basic principles at times. I know it's a T20 format and guys don't want to be predictable, they want to mix things up, they want to use the variations. Invariably your stock delivery still has to be nice and tight on those off stumps, particularly when you're playing against batsmen of the caliber of these top 3. Have a look at those 3 boundaries. I mean, those are at least half a metre outside your stump. There's another example. Short. That's nicely played by Finch. You got to give him that as well. He didn't go hard at that one. He was in full control, just knew where he could pick up a boundary. The error in length from the South Africans. KG, a rough start from 11 and 3 deliveries. That one only just falls short.
We've got to pitch the ball up. It's almost like Finch said to Smith, well, if you're going to keep bowling short, you know. Go. 2 balls that have been pitched up in the over, just 1 run from them.
Yeah, copy stick paste that last one. A couple more of those ones. That was perfect. Particularly on the wicket, it looks like it's got some bounce. We saw a reaction there from Finch to say, gee, that one climbed and took off. Extra bounce.
So could barely be a better start given the lack of risk. No, Smith got lucky with Steyn unable to pick up the ball at 3rd man, but to have 41 on the board before the end of the 4th over against a very good attack on paper. Looks like Rabada's worked it out. 41 for 1.
Important finish. That could have been disastrous for South Africa. Really put them under immense pressure. First 3 deliveries go for 11, but then 3 dot balls to finish from KG. I'm sure he'll be a little bit rusty coming back into the equation if it was just a 2-week break.
Warner's move from the dressing room to the dugout. Still getting over the shock of getting out 2nd ball. He cut the 1st ball. Dale Steyn for 4, got cramped for room and beaten for pace and bounce, caught down long leg 2nd ball. Crowd building. Sell out at the Wanderers tonight. Rain today, it had been forecast tonight. Our fingers are firmly crossed, it doesn't come again.
South Africa would like to turn to Bethlaquaya and Shamsi once the power play is finished, because they use their variations, they like the field spread. So it is important that these three bowl nicely up front. I don't think they'll be overly impressed by the way they've gone so far. A big moment when Shamsi is introduced, and then the extra bowling option tonight is John Smits. Klaasen has done a dirty just before the toss.
Does hit the ball hard, doesn't he? I mean, well, he's a very strong man. You stand next to Aaron Finch and you can see his physicality.
A short pitch delivery as well. Delivery.
It's a 2 straight away, and he will come back for 2.
That's an example of the length. That's the right length. Just try to work away. Can't really get too much on it. Yes, it squirts away and they get back for a second, but it's not going to really be peppered away to the boundary. More of those are required from the South African bowling unit. Maybe I am harbouring a point, but it's been clear and obvious that it hasn't been good enough so far.
Fantastic stroke play, and for 6 as well. How about that for a shot? We've seen the very best of all Aaron Finch's options and dimensions in that over. 58 for 1. Pleasure he must have got out of that shot, to hit a fast bowler back over mid-off. Such conviction. Fantastic. Handing over to Robbie Peterson and Mike Hayes.
Thank you, Mark. You're just listening to Sean and also Mark. The length hasn't been anywhere near as good as it should be. I think if you're going to be bowling to these two guys, Smith and Finch, one thing you've got to make sure you don't do is bowl short. These guys are so strong short. Hello, Robbie. How are you going?
Good, Hazy. Good to be here. Wow, what a start by Australia after that early wicket of David Warner. It's been one-way traffic. It's been boundaries, it's been short bowling, incorrect lengths. Got to get a wicket here, South Africa, to get themselves back in this game.
Bethlaquaya now into the attack. See a bit of variety from him. Well, that one's disappeared very smartly. Smith has just got so much time. Yes, he's in now, but he's one of those guys who just rocks back on that back foot. The track is not quick, and he's got so much time to play these shots.
This is what happened to South Africa. They've been too short and too wide, too many boundaries square of the wicket. Here's another example of that. You wonder if that short side's getting into the head of the bowlers at the moment, but you cannot bowl there to Steve Smith.
12 and over at the moment now. Loud scream of no. We haven't seen too many of those dot balls. The partnership between these two guys at the moment is 58 of just 30 balls. Strike rate of 205 for Finch. There's confirmation of the lengths they've bowled, 257. It's been dishing them up. It's the strike rate against seam. Short, and they've been smashing them.
That's a lot better. You want to use your short ball in T20 cricket, but you've got to use it as an attacking option. You've got to try and hit the batsman, get above those shoulders, trying to get to swing across the line to take their feet away. At the moment, hasn't been full enough and hasn't been short enough. Have a look at that second wicket.
Right, so someone's got to stop this bleeding. Kagiso's got an opportunity here. There's an inside edge. Now that's unlucky. That's gone for 4, but it's very unlucky. Came back a fraction, a little bit of an off-cutter, I think.
Good delivery. Good length. Momentum's with Australia, and when momentum's with the batting team, this can happen. Inside edge. Unlucky.
So 2 balls left, 8 runs from it so far. They're not going to stop, these two guys. Now that's beautifully bowled. Good stuff from Kagiso.
There, one just jags back. Might have been a crack, and
sure surprised him. Righto, good stuff. Last ball this over.
what a power play for Australia.
There's that wicket of Warner. That was a big one. Shamsi taking the catch, and then suddenly runs flowed. This was weird. Caught up on the light in the lighting. Banks of lights. Top edge that time. There's Carey, the wicketkeeper. Agar, Cummins. Right, a bit of spin. Here's your game now, Robbie.
He's been very good, Shamsi. Good to see a change of pace. He's a wicket taker. South Africa will need him to strike. 20 matches, 14 wickets. It's the first time he's playing consistently in this 11.
He's loving it too. called a wide.
What Shamsi needs to do is stop the bleeding, stop the boundaries. I think once he can stop the boundaries, I think there will be opportunities to get wickets.
Man at long off, right on the boundary. That boundary is nice and long. It's about 80 metres straight. Again, another wide. Quayle. Just to point out a little bit of a technique change which has come into the game of Aaron Finch. You know, next time he's on strike, something has made quite a big difference to his batting over the last little while. Smith, we know, moves around a lot, and the important thing about Smith is he gets himself in a great position at the end. Not quite as excessive as a movement these days. Plenty of time to swing that around for one. Might be able to come back for two. No, decides against it. That's good work.
Saved 3 runs down there, John Smuts. Excellent work. When you're under the cosh, this is what you need. You need your fielders to create something.
Move his left foot across in front of about middle stump, and it closed himself off, and he got out a couple of times LBW. He's a wonderful player. Now he keeps himself nice and open, which enables a freer hit, a freer movement. Does the same in the longer formats as well.
I think that's exactly where in team meetings when playing against Aaron Finch, we look to target him, we plant that front foot almost to cover. We can't access the ball that straight to his stumps.
He wasn't happy with that, but Petlakoya will be pleased with that one.
We'll take them in any shape and form, South Africa. Any dot balls worth gold here at this stage.
Now, about 3 days ago, he would have been rubbed up because he was in Chicago. KG, he was over there for the All-Stars basketball tournament. Quick little trip over there. He's a basketball nut, loves his basketball, loves his sports. And had a real opportunity to go and watch the big fellas. The 7-footers up close. Back where he belongs now.
That's the line. And the length, top off. See stepper, set up, trying to keep that left leg out the way so he can create some width for himself.
It just goes to show you can play a lot of cricket, but you still make little changes to improve the game. Right, Petlakoya. He'll be so keen to make sure he finishes here. 4 runs from the over so far. Short. It's just going to be the one though, so that's good work. Right, Shamsi again.
Australia 84 for 2.
Partnership of 80 of 52 balls has now been broken. Wade plays a different game. He's not a power hitter. So this will give South Africa an opportunity just to get into it a bit more. Dismissal of Finch is really important considering the flow of this game.
He has had an excellent big bash, Matthew Wade. Worked his way back into the team through weighted runs. Average 19. Not a great strike rate, but he has evolved his game over the last couple of months in the big bash.
It's been an interesting career, Wade. He's been in and out a bit, but now he's cemented a spot in both the big teams. It's a wide. It's very friendly first up from Shamsi. He'll be livid with that delivery. Good awareness from du Plessis. Smith it is on strike. Now it brings Wade on strike.
They've missed him a few times, Shamsi, in the past white ball cricket. Matthew Wade has an opportunity to get the slip in. Another wicket now could really throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Let's see what they do with the field, because as I said, it's a different game. He'll look to just pick up the ones and get Smith back on strike.
I still think you've got to get the slip in. Shamsi turning the ball away. He has got the ball to straighten, which means it will move away from Matthew Wade. Challenge his outside edge. There's a wicket here. Could really put South Africa in the pouncy.
Likes to sweep. Wade sweeps fine generally when he does. That's far from ideal from Shamsi again. He hasn't found his radar at all here. He'll be disappointed, I think, with the work that he's done up until now. He just hasn't applied any real pressure. He's got a wicket, but he's just got to build some pressure here.
And that's your opportunity, that's your window to get a few dot balls when someone's just new to the crease. All you got to do is just land the ball in a decent length, and they don't really try much, the batsmen. He's got to tighten up here. Great.
Turn. That's better from Shamsi. Seven off that over, and a wicket as well. 90 for 2.
A very good set by Shamsi. Change of bowler, John Smuts.
And he just told me afterwards what happened, and he's damaged the hip area. They're not too sure what the damage is. Suddenly, quick change of team. He was batting at 4. Oh, that's a hard hit, but it's a high hit. Is there a collision? There's no collision, but there's 4 runs.
That was a good move to get John Smuts into the attack, but needed to take this.
Certainly a misunderstanding. I don't think I've ever seen that before, where he gets caught in the floodlights, and then that one as well.
boundary to add insult to injury.
Halfway mark nearly. Almost 3 figures on the board. The length of the field, the reason was there's a bit of weather around the place, was what Quinton Cox said at the toss. Turnover's gone, 99 for 2. Victor Butsang and also Pomi Mbangwa for the next 5 overs.
Thanks, Hayes. What a start. Yeah, coming back nicely is Tabriz Shamsi. It's come up and it's just about at the halfway stage, so going at a great pace. Yeah, high scoring ground, the Wanderers, but you have to say that have been some gifts dished out early on, not the right tone set up.
There's just too much room from Shamsi there, which allows to release those arms to try and get it airborne, to try and get that gap. But this is wonderful work by the fast bowler. Kagiso Rabada saves the extra run.
All out in the deep on that leg side, except from the man who's on the sweep shot. Setting the tone up at the front. Just expected them to bowl normal length balls first up. Didn't have enough of that, didn't have much of that, if at all, actually. Pity about the stand on the right. It's for safety reasons, by the way. That's why there's nobody there. Fielded. Excellent from Petrawaya. Cover.
And I'm sure Steyn will appreciate that, because it was nicely hit by Smith. Has to go all the way to his left. Slower deliveries, extra bit of width.
More short, more wide. And Australia will continue to collect. It's a good shot from Wade, this.
It's the line that's been the struggle for the South African side. They've just offered too much width outside off stump. The Australians have been allowed to hit the ball square, something that they are very strong at doing.
Horizontal again, and the gestures. Look at the body language from both Quinton de Kock as well as Dale Steyn. Yeah, you look around the ground and you can see that it's not quite going how they would like. South Africa not managing. To get the ball where they want.
And Australia, well, they lose their third.
Yep, high fives all round.
As they take on South Africa at the Wacker. Sky Sports, feel it all.
Leicester host Manchester City and leaders Liverpool play West Ham. Another big Premier League weekend, live on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Another look at the wicket. Slower ball. And he picked it and decides I can clear the fence. Goes as hard as he can. He can't. Out of his spell, going down the leg side and bowling wide. It's wide, that one, but it gets rid of Smith. It's wide, that one, but it gets rid of Smith.
It's a lovely period this for South Africa. It's a lovely period this for South Africa because it's the dangerous Smith that needs to depart way too early. Feel that Shamsi probably saw me, just drags it a touch back, and because the ball doesn't turn, there's no chance whatsoever to get any
It means there are 2 new men at the crease. First ball for Alex Carey is off the... And they have to form a partnership pretty quickly, get going. They've got still going at... Not out, says umpire. Alidin Palika will be going upstairs.
He's been bowling well, Shamsi. He's been bowling well, Shamsi. Really been bowling good areas. They needed him to bowl well in this middle period with Australia having such a good hit at a time. Front foot, perfect.
This will tell us. Maybe it will. Australia could ill afford Carey being out as well. Lane 3. Two was expensive. Right up at the front there, all of them expensive, and he's shifted along, has Quinton de Kock. Lots of options he's got. Thinking 2. We'll get back for 2. Smallish overs, pull all of this back. He'll be happy about you. Run rate down quite a bit.
Because if you can, makes your job a little bit easier towards the back end of the innings. 131 for 4.
And after a long time, finally kind of a tour that's going on, and he's not involved at all. That's a shot. Oh, yes. That is a brilliant shot. It's just back of a length, and it's raced off to the fence. He can play, Alex Carey. Is the pressure of your opposition.
You probably feel that he has rhythm when he bowls in the nets, but it's not the same. The fact that he bowls the 1-0.
Short again. They're not going to back away down from the short ball. They'll go at them. Yeah. Down inside. Oh, nearly took out Lebon on the way through. .47 for 4.
Day.
The night.
The Jemison. The story. Because it doesn't matter where you are.
What matters is who you're with.
Jemison.
great night out for so many people. Though those who really know their cricket will be aware that South Africa's bowling has left.
Australia, and I'm normally very simple.
And enjoying playing under Quinton de Kock.
The surprise for me has been his role. I would have thought when he was being brought back that he would have been the experience that South Africa would have gone back to at the back end and the last few death overs, but it hasn't been the case.
bowled. Slower block hole, good thinking. Just a consecutive balls.
It's interesting to see where the hitting areas are for Carey. There's two men behind square on the leg side, so if he gets down and paddles, that last one was 140, then that's a real boundary option, or else straight back over middle.